I'm going to be right in the middle of catty corner and hold.
Oh. Old school.
No, she got an easel. This is going from the 95.
He's Brian.
It's already, you can't do anything, Andrew. You signed the paperwork, buddy. Too late.
So that we just heard a beautiful, very sentimental, adorable speech. Mine is nothing like that. Oh, I gave him fair warning. Andrew, remember when I told you, when you were my dude of honor, I said, you better be nice, and you actually were nice, you listened? That was a mistake. Okay, I need to make sure that everyone can see the board, because it is very important. I have a quick visual test to make sure that everyone can see. Can everyone see? If you cannot see, please move your seats.
You
Please
hold
so
it
that
up.
you can see the board. It is worth it. Andrew, I want you to let you know that this photo has nothing to do with the speech I'm going to give. It is just my goal to embarrass you as much as humanly possible. Oh, good. So, when I was, I know, right? So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to say for my speech, I started looking up marriage advice online. And true story, the article that I found about modern marriage was written by a Dr. Gagliano. No joke, so I was like, oh, it's a sign. So that was fate, and so now I have 5 stories from our childhood that go along with 5 pieces of marriage advice. I'm just going to toss them.
This is
I'll clean them
awesome.
up later.
I just want you to know, this is my favorite part.
You should be. That's a cute, right? Okay, so when Andrew and I were young, our parents would sometimes take us to a playground in Port Jeff called Rocket Ship Park. It's still there now, actually, just it's redone. At the time, there was a huge rocket ship that you climbed into and then up a ladder with a massive metal slide that you would absolutely burn your legs on in the summer. So one day we were at this park, and I climbed to the top of the rocket, and I was surveying my kingdom. And this little punk kid started banging on the slide and calling me a scaredy cat. So I went down the slide and I walked right past him, ignoring him like the peasant that he was. And suddenly, this little jerk tackles me from behind and proceeds to try to beat me up. And here comes my little brother trying to pull this punk kid off of me and was just getting swatted away. He was just eating sand left and right. But Andrew kept getting up and trying again. Meanwhile, I have to point out that my parents were watching the entire time, like some National Geographic show, watching to see what happens. Just the definition of 90s parenting. I mean, like, okay, so my dad did go over to this kid's parents afterward and threatened to break his legs, but it counts. So, Andrew, much like you didn't stop getting back up after you were forced to eat sand, you should never stop trying for your wife in your marriage. That is the only nice story that I've had.
Oh my God.
Nice picture, right? Now, this was taken during one of our many trips to Sesame Place, the water park in Pennsylvania. We went a lot as kids. It was great, lots of fun. There was a huge metal pyramid that had air jets all over it. Remember that? You would float balls all over the air jets. And the metal pyramid would burn your skin to pieces in the summer, much like the slide in the last story. It was just typical of our life. Now, there was one occasion that we went. Do you remember where I'm going with this? So we went with family friends. This photo may or may not be taken from that exact trip. I'm not 100% sure. I think it may be. There's a good shot that it might be. So we had a great time during the day at the park. We had family friends with us. The day was winding down, and we decided to leave for the day. We left the park. We were just reaching our car in a huge parking lot, and one of those family friends that was with us said, "Hey, where's Andrew?" My dad yells, "Oh shit!" and moves it back into the park. I vaguely remember trying to convince everyone else to just get in the car and go. Yeah, so my dad did find Andrew. He was at the Lost and Found. So, Andrew. No, I'm not.
I was at the Lost and
It was awesome. My advice to you from this experience is that, unlike our parents, you should remember your commitments. And Kiara, in case this passes through DNA, maybe you should be in charge of the children.
I'm already doing that. I was in charge of the license. I was in charge of all the envelopes. Yeah, no.
So this was taken at our family bakery. Andrew's getting older, starting to think about what his future will be, where he might go to college, his future plans. He's getting older and wiser, just not so wise with written words, right? I can't remember, who wrote your college entrance paper?
Me.
Who proofread all of your college papers? Who wrote your resume?
Wow.
Who told you that you initially spelled Gagliano wrong on your wedding invitations?
You.
Who proofread your wedding website?
You.
And who proofed a very important work email 3 days ago?
You.
So my advice to you is to work on being a good communicator and learn how to use a comma. Brace. So I just want to say, it wasn't a complete surprise to me that Andrew decided to wear a shorter skirt today than Kiara. Yes, I have. Do you know? Does he tell you about this experience? Oh, I have more photos. So my brother and I always laugh when we're together, even as kids. We'd be in hysterics in our basement, trying to beat the damn flying carpet level in Aladdin on Sega. Never did it. And then when the internet appeared in our house, we would constantly be laughing and quoting random things that we would find online. And we could still quote them today, like, "Power thirst with all new flavors like banana, fizzbitch, and gum." Our parents still don't know what we're talking about. And then there are times when Andrew got pretty crazy, like in these photos, which is from a family cruise that we went on, and entered a game one night that involved our team needing to help Andrew get all gussied up like this with our own items and what we could borrow or steal from other teams. So that's my bra that he's wearing. And it's hard to see, but he is wearing lipstick as well. And one of the main objectives of the game that Andrew achieved was needing to make out with a strange guy that was on our team. And he did it.
I got 10 points.
So, my brother likes to laugh. So my advice to you is, even in tough moments, find something to laugh about together. And Kiara, maybe keep an eye on your clothes. So my brother is a great uncle. He was one of the first people to hold my daughter, Dorothy, rushing straight to the hospital after work. I have a photo of him holding her in the NICU where she was for a bit. no fear about all those wires and the stuff that were hanging on her, grinning at the camera, a very proud new uncle. And now he's the crazy uncle who my kids chase around the yard and try to drown in the swimming pool every summer. But with all that, he's not exactly a trustworthy babysitter. Now, this happened fairly recently. Andrew and Kiara were nice enough to watch my two kids while my husband and I would go out on a very rare date night. Well, Andrew and Kiara came over. I'm going through my rundown, reminders of bedtimes, where their snacks were. I asked them if they need me to show them how to put on a diaper. Andrew rolls his eyes at me and says, "I got it." Spoiler alert, he did not. We get home. I go to ask Andrew how everything went, and he says, "Fine, but Carrick must not be used to having someone else put a diaper on him, because he gave me this really strange look. He looked down at himself and then looked back up. It was just weird." So I'm like, all right, okay. So the next morning, Carrick gets up, and I go to change his diaper, and let me tell you, Andrew put the diaper on backwards, which takes skill, because it says back on the back side of the diaper. So he missed that somehow. And did a combination of the diaper being backwards and Andrew not knowing how to position the tabs on the diaper, he gave my 2-year-old a diaper thong. So Andrew, from your miserable diaper skills, my advice to you is to keep learning. Grow and learn together in your marriage, and maybe take a parenting class when it's time. You know, look, like, I'll take one, okay? Just do something. So, enough about advice. Kiara, can you please just stand up briefly? Isn't Kiara the most beautiful bride you have ever seen? Now, I know I'm supposed to take my brother's back in all things, but I really do think Kiara wears a wedding dress better. So I first met Kiara at my son's baptism. My son Carrick was screaming bloody murder, wouldn't settle down. My husband and I were trying to wrestle him into the baptism gown. It was a mess. And Andrew approaches us with Kiara, and the first thing she says to us is, "Hi, nice to meet you. How can I help?" And I thought, that's it. She's the one he's going to marry. She offered kindness, willing to help when honestly I wanted to leave the situation. I also knew she was it when multiple friends came to me after having met Kiara, told me, "You know, Kiara reminds me a lot about you." I was like, yes. So therefore she was perfect. And just a few weeks ago I saw Kiara pour almost an entire bottle of wine into a water bottle to drink from. So I am hereby dropping the in-law part and just calling you sis. It was awesome. Okay, so wrapping up, I just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone for being here. This virus we are currently in the midst of has made things difficult, to say the least. I look around this room and I know that we are missing people here who Andrew and Kiara really wanted to attend, but due to the restrictions, it wasn't possible. Now, through the wedding planning process, which I was heavily involved in, and I will be sending you my bill, I saw Andrew and Kiara really take things in stride. While other couples may have struggled to accept the changes that they had to make and complained the entire time, I saw these two shrug it off and say, "We'll just make it work. It'll be fun no matter what." And I think that through all this, you too learned something that no amount of marriage advice can offer from me or anyone else, and that is this. It is not so important to have the right wedding, it is that you need to wed the right person. And I don't have a doubt that you two have found that right person. So, I love you, widow brother. Everyone raise a glass, please, to the newly married couple. I love you guys.
What a great way to conclude our toast. Amy, fantastic. Let's hear it for your best Amy, everybody. As you can see, you still have your force on your table.